Okay, the situation developing now in the Middle East is getting at a very fluid situation. And as I've said, I'm giving you my promise that if and when Syria or the city of Damascus is attacked by either NATO forces, Israel, or, well, whether it's United States, Britain, France, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Israel, or who, as soon as that happens, we will go live at my website at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. Unless I'm not home. And I am performing a wedding tomorrow, Saturday, out of town, about an hour drive away. And I'm also going to be performing Sunday morning. I'll be, of course, be an hour and a half away from my studios, but we'll be doing live church service, of course, at our home church in Knox, Indiana, as well as baptism and other things. But if anything happens today, tomorrow, Friday, during the night, anytime, and we get word of a major attempt on Damascus, of course, we know it is major biblical prophecy milestone, and we will be coming live and staying with the story for several hours to see what takes place. Now, let me just tell you what's happening right now. I just got this from Larry of West Virginia, but there is a major crisis developing as we speak. First of all, what's happened is Egypt has jumped into the fray, and they said, we may stop any warships headed for Syria if they try to come down the Suez Canal. Now, the leading anti-Muslim Brotherhood group in Egypt announced it will prevent military action threatened by the West against Syria from using the Egyptian-controlled Suez Canal. And the Suez Canal, of course, is the route through which U.S., British, and other warships will need to pass for any non-air or land-based military strikes against Syria. In a Middle East for which most observers need an electronic scorecard to keep up with what's going on with the shifting alliances, a fraction with a strong influence over the current government in control in Egypt is insisting that any threatened Western assaults against Syria be blocked. But the Muslim Brotherhood have lost power. They're not in charge of Egypt. The Egyptian military under the General El-Sisi is now running Egypt. And what will be their response? Mohammed Morsi is no longer in power. So you have mass confusion as it relates to the Suez Canal. Matter of fact, yesterday afternoon I received a text message on my phone from Greg of Tennessee, and he's a truck driver, and he said his company was just giving text messages to all 800 of the drivers, go fill up your trucks now, before midnight, because the price of oil is going to skyrocket. And I went to the gas station yesterday evening, and the price of gas here in West Lafayette, Indiana, jumped by 22 cents from the morning to the afternoon by 4:30 in the afternoon. So something definitely is taking place. You have to understand, when Iran threatens to block the Straits of Hormuz, and when Egypt threatens to block the Suez Canal, not only does that prevent warships from maneuvering, but it literally puts a complete chokehold on about 40% of the oil that has to travel through those areas to different parts of the world. While that was going on, I received from Nick of New York a report. UN chemical weapons teams, the United Nations chemical weapon teams, are going to leave Syria by Saturday morning. They're getting out of there. United Nations inspectors in Syria have determined whether forces, have used chemical weapons in this civil war, will continue their investigations until Friday, but they plan to leave before Saturday morning. Does that mean that the attacks coming on Syria are going to happen maybe as late Friday night, early Saturday morning? I don't know. But I can say this. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon speaking in Vienna, said that the team, which arrived in Syria on August the 18th, would report to him as soon as they come out of the country, and that he had therefore he had literally put an end to their trip very quickly, and is sending them to Austria. He had been due to address some other villages and other places, but he says, no, I got to talk to the UN inspectors. So this is the situation's developing. We're going to stay on top of you. We'll be right back. There's more things developing as I'm talking to you, and so I'll be right back after we verify I'm in Jesus' name. Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're living in very precarious times.